Hello successful souls, this is Jen Lillian helping online spiritual coaches with their online spiritual coaching business to supercharge their results in 90 days or less to success. Now this is a full-length interview with Andrew Watt when we spoke and collaborated together at the Soul Central Summit, which was on June the 10th, 2022. So we actually delved deep into the energy around us that we can't necessarily see. So what is negative energy? Is this a way of describing the dark soul? What are the different types of entity? How to deal with negative energy and entities? And how do you release negative energy and entities in a safe way? So if this is of interest, then feel free to continue watching. If you do have any questions along the way, then please feel free to reach out. And yeah, enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. I hope everyone is doing well. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can see me okay. I am actually broadcasting from Facebook, the Facebook Soul Central group, and also YouTube. And if you have registered, you'll be on the Zoom call. So there are 3 points that we can maybe meet up from as we speak. So if you do stumble across any technical issues, please let me know. But lovely to see you all. Just waiting for the awesome Andrew to come through.
Can you hear me?
Oh, hey, yes, Andrew. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, thanks. Can you see me okay?
Yeah, can see you fine. Are you still traveling at the moment?
Yeah, I'm in sunny Poland at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Lovely to see you. Well, okay, cool. We'll get started. So thanks everyone for coming. This is the first ever Soul Central Summit. A little bit about me, in case you don't know me. My name is Jen Lillian. I've been in business now since 2012 and actually celebrate my decade in business come August this year. And I've been through the many highs and many lows when it comes to business. And the last 6 months, I changed the people that I work with and for. And since then, I just feel like I've seen great changes in my life. And I feel like this summit is a way of me paying back all the goodness I've received from the fantastic coaches on the Soul Central Summit that we have going on today. Because
you'll know that if you bet on red.
Oh, we might need to be on mute someone there. Like yourself, Andrew, and the others on the call today between 12 and 6, like you guys have helped me. You guys have touched my heart in some way, shape or form. And I just really appreciate and value that the work that you do to help obviously myself and also to help the others that you have in your circles as well. So it's just a great opportunity for us to meet up, collaborate, share our stories, share our gifts that we are here to share and offer to others in the world. And yeah, it's just going to be a nice chat today about something which is quite can be quite sort of upsetting or disturbing, and I'm not here to like spook anyone out, but when it comes to negative energy, it's a very misunderstood area, I think. And I believe if you don't have the right team in place, it can feel quite a lonely place if you are struggling with negative energy. And Andrew, I'm going to ask you to talk about, you know, your story and how you came to the work that you do today, and go into like the work you actually help people with. But if I was to share some of my experiences to maybe help people on the call who are possibly struggling with such things that we're going to be talking about. So I've visually seen stuff that I cannot explain, things that you would only imagine in a horror film. And I realised after this particular site I'm personally referring to that my son saw it and he's 6. So that to me, I think that was about 9 months ago, that to me was a bit of a wake-up call when it came to, okay, I'm obviously doing something to attract something in, or I need to understand about this thing that I have that I've seen. Obviously you wouldn't talk about, you know, something that you've seen horrifically and visually to your 6-year-old, but when I realised that my 6-year-old also saw what I saw, I was like, okay, time to take some action. So if that's where you're at, Andrew's your person. And also, it could be that you're struggling with something you can't quite see. So let's say we've all experienced it, right? You've walked into a room and God, like it's like the energy's off, or, you know, there's something hear that you can't quite see, or you can't quite put your finger on, or there's something that you don't feel comfortable with. So again, Andrew, you've helped me obviously in the past when it comes to sorting out a particular energy or entity, you might say, in a particular space, place, wherever. So there are things that you just can't simply explain that do appear in your life. And if you are struggling with something and you have no idea where to turn, well, Andrew, as mentioned, is your man. So Andrew, I just want to say thank you ever so much for, coming on today and sharing your time with us. And as mentioned, you have helped me loads in this area. I'm of the opinion now that with good comes bad, with bad comes good. And I think the brighter you are, possibly the heavier a negative energy might come in. I don't know, you might need to correct me on that way of thinking, but it has been the last sort of 6 to 9 months that I've been experiencing sort of like the negative nasties. But my life is very bright and full and positive as well, so it's not all bad. But how would you, just suggest to people, how would they handle such energy? So before we get really into it, Andrew, who are you and what's your story?
Yeah, hi everyone. Feel free to turn your cameras on if you'd like. I'm very much a people's person. If you feel comfortable, it'd be nice to interact, especially later on when I will potentially be removing some entities from the group. It'd be nice to get some feedback from face to face. But yeah, let's start with, I'm Andrew Watt, and I've been an engineer for 16 years, and I'm now working with the emotion code and easy entity release. And I came into that because I went through some difficult times by taking some pharmaceutical drugs, also being in a bad state of mind in the life where you don't have a job, you're back with your parents, and the whole world seems to be growing up without you, or something like that. So yeah, I ended up going into a bit of a dark place. The pharmaceutical snowball of taking one pill, getting side effects, then trying to fix it with something else, which ultimately ended up taking SSRIs, drugs, and then having to, realizing that you were getting worse rather than getting better. And they always tell you that it's going to be, sometimes it gets worse, but it was horrendous. So I stopped them. I've only been taking them for 3 or 4 weeks. So then I decided, for some reason, I was guided to take the natural route with meditation and yoga. And then with that, I realized I had a hunger for natural medication and to optimize my body with the right food, and even more so the mind. And there's so many techniques out there to optimize the mind and also for healing, and they often go hand in hand, to be honest. And that's why I find the world so much more exciting now. And then one of the things that I found worked for me was the emotion code. And I'll probably talk about that before I talk about easy entity release, because the principles behind that based on the emotion code, and it's a book, and it's sold a lot of copies, and there are thousands of practitioners around the world, so I'm not just the only one.
Great, Andrew, awesome share. Your story is really interesting. It's good that this work has come to surface even more. I do know a few other people that have used it, who are still using it, and it's like, seeing them with great results, so it's really good stuff. But yeah, I mean, the common questions around sort of negative energies really is, how would you describe negative energy? Like, what is it, would you say, in your opinion?
Yeah, negative energy, it's quite a broad term to explain what these things are, and everything's made of energy, of course, including emotions. So emotions and entities are very much interlocked. And it's like a perpetual cycle often, if the body generates these emotions, as shown. I'm just going to share my screen, and I'll just show the emotion code chart here. Yeah, you can see that?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, so there's the evidence. So this is the chart that is used to find the emotions that need to be released from the emotion code. And there's 60 emotions in this chart, and they're linked to the organs, as you can see on the left of the chart. Rows 1 to 6 mention the organs that those particular emotions are generated from. So this is also in Chinese medicine as well. I think this kind of used, these organs and these emotions are used in many forms of healing, natural forms of healing. So our organs naturally produce these emotions, and if we're in a bad state or in our environment, you know, well, it's not even necessarily bad. Our body just naturally produces them, and then they pass through our body and mind normally, and they don't get trapped, and that's how it should be. You know, crying, shouting, you know, dancing, yoga. There's so many ways to let these emotions get through us. But often when we're younger and we don't have those tools to know what's going on, and if we're like we feel scared, then these emotions might get trapped in our body, and we don't let go of them. We don't let them pass through. So then they get trapped, and they get trapped in our mind, in our body. They can, cause pains, physical pains, and often this won't come to roost until later in life, especially with anxiety and mental health issues. So, yeah, the emotions is where we start, and then these emotions are like a feeding source for a lot of these negative entities and spirits that are often just everywhere, and you know, and depending on how we're feeling, if we're like in a good mood and we're operating a high vibration, these entities operate at vibration levels. So if we're up here and we're, you know, everything's going well and parents are treating us really well and it's going well, then we'll probably avoid a lot of these entities. But often when you grow up and perhaps you've had a breakup with your parents when you're young, and you might be, you know, they might be arguing all the time, and then you might be under a low vibration. Therefore, you're more susceptible to attracting them. So entities feed off our emotions, and they feed off the negative emotions. And you wonder why, you know, we don't have any energy sometimes. And some people we hang out with, you know, you say, oh yeah, they're like an energy vampire. They're just like draining me. And that's often because they're subconsciously, unwittingly doing that. Maybe they have entities in their field, or I don't know, maybe they just need your energy. They need people's energy for them to maintain their own, which is obviously quite selfish. And if they knew how to get their own energy, which you can do from source or divine, whatever you want to call it, from meditating and from spending time in nature and many other methods, then, you know, that would be self-sufficient rather than draining for the people.
Yeah, cool. I mean, like, how would you know you have an entity around or attached, whatever the term might be? Like, how do you differentiate between a bad mood, a bit of stress, a bit of anxiety over your business, maybe, because we're all here as online coaches, whether you're a healer, practitioner, therapist, and you're just dealing with like day-to-day stuff? How do you make a difference between that over like a dark entity or whatever it is that you might describe them as?
Well, different people have different sensitivities, so that, you know, some people are more aware of them than others. I'm particularly not that aware of them. However, one thing that does it for me and does it for a lot of people is shivers down the spine and feeling quite cold even when it's like a hot day or something, and feeling for no reason at all, feeling like a shiver down the spine. And then for those who are a bit more sensitive and more aware of their intuition, you know, they have a feeling like something just doesn't feel right. And often when they go to a hospital or a graveyard or pubs and bars or around people that have a lot of addictions, you know, there are people, we all have friends who like to smoke a lot and drink a lot perhaps, and addictions come hand in hand with these entities, because entities do feed off those negative emotions, and often people are repressing those emotions by distracting themselves with an addictive substance. So, you know, the entities are taking their energy like tenfold, and then those people obviously want to have dopamine hits as well, which they get from those addictive substances. And again, it's all forms of energy, and they're just, the entities are often feeding off those people who are addicted. But I'd say the feeling of coldness and just feeling something's not quite right, and often the environments, you know, we know if we're doing the same thing all the time, we know that we don't normally feel like this. If we're at home or we're at work, it's like, okay, normally it's all right. But if you feel something's totally off, and it's because you've done something slightly different in your routine, you could have been somewhere or been with someone. And also in sex, you know, sexual transmission, a lot of the youngsters have to be careful. They don't realize that it's an energy exchange, not just the physical exchange of intercourse and being so close to someone. It's what we can't see, and that it can often be more damaging than what we can.
Oh, that's definitely a good point to talk about, because there's a lot of people that have the opinion of, if you can't see it, it's not there, don't believe in it. And therefore it can feel quite a lonely world, this space that we're all in. However, just because you can't see it per se, It doesn't mean to say it's not there, and it doesn't mean to say you need to do some clearing. And another point that you made, which is really quite good, is I think when you do this sort of work that we're all talking about over the 6 hours today, when it comes to meditating and connect with your higher self or accessing your Akashic records, you grow to be more sensitive, and that's a power in itself. Like, we're all great people to be receiving such messages, but also that comes with another sort of segue of like these negative entities that are around. And it's such a refreshing conversation around this, because it's not obviously spoken about out there. Like in schools, it was never talked about in my experience growing up, not in any of my circles growing up. And it's great that we all are here today in a safe place to talk about such things, because it is definitely around. Like, it's real. Like, we need to probably cleanse ourselves or clear ourselves of these entities just as much as what we would do physically, take a shower and wash ourselves. And what you were just talking about there reminds me of a few weeks ago. I went to check in for a flight to go to Turkey. We went to Stansted Airport, and, you know, naturally you're on a high vibe, you've got that holiday feeling going through, you know, positive, yay. And then I walked into Wetherspoons thinking we could get like something to eat before the flight. And like you just said, like a room in a pub, like full of people with like addictions and like stuff, because you drink, obviously, even though it's in an airport, but you're still going to come across types of people. And I walked in there and I was like, said to my boyfriend, God, I just didn't want to be there. Like that real like resistance of like, oh, I just felt, oh, icky. And I'm sure that's what you were trying to describe there, Andrew, like that. If it just feels off, like, you know, listen to that, feel into that, and make a decision to not stay around that. And that's what a particular room or a place can feel like for you, right, Andrew? And that's what you can help people clear and obviously tackle if you are dealing with some sort of entity or energy that's around that you need to maybe, you know, shift.
Yeah, that's completely true. And you know, when clients come to me, it's there's all, you know, I know nothing about them. So, and also what comes into entities and spirits can be, if people believe in it, it can be like past lives as well. You know, that kind of, you know, entities perhaps can like, you know, can have some connection from past lives. If people have been doing some, you know, darker work on the dark side, then they might bring those through into this life as well. I mean, I don't know everything, it's complicated, but I've got lists that cater for past lives works as well. But, you know, when people come to me, you know, we do a clearing, and you know, it may take a while to do a total clearing, and I don't know. All I want is my clients to get better. But as well as that, I also recommend my clients to use kinds of protection, maybe a little meditation, visualization. So visualizing like cloaks around them and force fields, like an egg. You know, so it's nice for them to be self-sufficient as well as me releasing stuff, because if they keep on going back to work and they're a nurse and they keep on going to fill up on all that negative energy again and entities and stuff, and then they come back to me, then it's just going to be a self-professing prophecy, and they're going to keep on lining my pockets, which isn't what it's all about, really. But yeah, people have to be mindful about where they're going and who they're being with, and if they know someone is an energy vampire, then they may need to cut that person out of their life, or at least reduce the contact, knowing that you know, it's not really good for their well-being, and be around people who are calm and, you know, go out in nature, you know, all these things that all the healers and coaches will recommend. I would recommend as well to keep away from them. Obviously, nature and hugging trees, but yeah, you know, if you've got these in your house as well, that's another thing I need to mention. That with part of our practice, I like to do that as well as clearing the person, because clearing the house and the land, otherwise, again, you're just going to be going back into that environment, and you're going to be feeling a bit strange, because as well as your energy field, which has a lot of entities in, then your house or your place of work might as well. And you just got to be careful. Yeah, just keep your vibration high by eating really good foods, of course, organic foods, and being in nature, meditation. But yeah, just think of keeping your vibration high, which is just a nice thing to do for a good standard of health living, health. Yeah.
Amazing, Andrew. Yeah, I mean, it's great. And this is going to be quite maybe a difficult question, because as you mentioned earlier, it's a big topic and it's very complicated, and it's just like, you know, huge as an area to discuss. But is there a connection between depression and entities? You know, if I was to look back at my sort of heyday in China when it comes to offline businesses, I was battling with like severe stress, depression, anxiety, and I always just boiled it down to quite possibly my lifestyle. I was just burning myself out. I was a spin instructor and I had like too much responsibility with the business, like making money, blah, blah, having clients, and I maybe didn't have a seasoned business head on me at that time. But could that have been maybe I was dealing with entities that I didn't quite realise? Like, is depression linked to entities, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. The likes of depression, anxiety, panic attacks, these real high level, tough things that people struggle with for mental health. And especially when you don't know, like, you know, your heart and you start getting palpitations, you don't know where it's coming from, you know. Triggers can be quite complicated. So, and then the entities can make things worse, or they can be the root cause of it. It's like a cycle, but there are different types of entities that can cause, you know, certain things. Like there are dark entity curses, for example, and I've got a list of 21 types of entities, which are part of the Easy Entity Release program, which is produced by a woman called 𝐀𝐓𝐓𝐄𝐑𝐈𝐎𝐶, who was doing the emotion code, and then she wanted to go deeper into the entities and create her own new system. So the dark entity curses is one of the most common entities that my clients, and that is often it's an attack from an entity, a dark entity, to you. And yeah, that attack it's part of control, manipulation, but it also, it lowers your vibration, and it can cause anxiety, depression, and panic attacks.
Yeah, fair enough. It's quite funny that there's like, how many did you say? 21, 22 entity names?
In this list, yeah, but there probably are more as well, yeah.
Well, I would like to add one as well. So where you cleared for me what I called Demon Dave. And like you say, there's like many more out there. What would you say are like the top like 3 to 5 common entities that most of us might be struggling with without realizing?
Yeah, there's a range of reptilian entities. So you've got the 𝐼𝐿 reptilians, reptilian greys, and the Draco reptilians are probably the most common. And you can Google these, and also there's a few programs on Gaia, which is really fascinating, because I'm still learning about these, because it's not necessarily my system. But yeah, I mean, I think Catherine knows as well about, like, yeah, the Draco reptilians being some kind of, like, you know, like dragon entity, like a reptilian with wings. And the archons come from the Gnostic time, and they all just want to, you know, control us, manipulate us, and mess with our thoughts. So that's why I'd say, like, for me, I like to specialize in mental health, to be honest. I can do physical health as well, but when you've got these entities like messing with our thoughts and our minds and our peace, you know, that becomes a game changer, because I think mental health is more important than physical health in the long term. You know, if you sort out your mental health, then your physical health can often fall together, but it can, you know, come together. So yeah, you've also got reptilian implants. Again, that's just an energy that the reptilian entity will store in you to control and manipulate you from a remote way. So it's an energy, so it goes into your energy field, and then the entity might go away, but that is causing you to have thoughts and feelings that aren't really yourself, from somewhere else. And what else we've got? We've got demonic consciousness and thought form entity consciousness. This consciousness can manifest in our minds from unresolved trauma. So these kinds of entities of dark spirits is like, we create them ourselves with repetitive, obsessive, negative thoughts from a childhood trauma, or you know, or it's like a representation of our shadow side. So like it's our shadow side is represented by the emotions that we present to the world and project on the world. So, you know, guilt and shame and unworthy and resentment and anger, you know, that can be portrayed as you being a really loose cannon, for example. And, you know, you can like lose it like that, and people think, oh yeah, I'm staying away from him because he gets angry and he loses it over nothing. And that can be just a representation of a childhood trauma, which is built up and maybe you've repressed and you're not willing to deal with it. For example, great example is a friend of mine, his father, is always angry, and he's always drinking alcohol. And he, like, I was doing some emotion code work, and my friend knew that I think he was abused as a child, and he even thinks that he may be homosexual, but he's repressed that for a long, long time. And I think, it's not just me But I believe that during the 70s and 80s and 90s, there were a lot of men who beat their wives up because they were repressing that homosexual feelings, which was obviously very shameful in the world and illegal during that time.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's always good to connect the dots when you look back on things, you know, and you can make all these connections, can't you? Yeah. I mean, Andrew, looking at the time, you wanted to maybe do a clearing for everyone today. Do you have enough time, do you feel? Or would you like to maybe discuss your onwards gift that you have for everyone today?
Yeah, I've got time. So, yeah, I'd like to, first of all, ask if anyone would not like to be part of this clearing. I will be clearing like a list of these 21 entities from the group. So if you write it in the chat, or if you want to put your hand up and say, I don't want to be in.
No one has said no, that everyone's for, not against.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll have a bit of time for this, and then we can have a bit of questions and answers. And part of that question and answers can be if you felt anything from the clearing that we're going to do. So it's nice to get a bit of practical of my work. So first of all, I'm just going to ask the angels and guides, my angels and guides, and everyone else's angels and guides to protect us and ground us, and to provide triple shielded protection of 0 point energy from the angels, please. And asking Merlin, my guide, to conduct this healing as well. And thank you for this opportunity to help all the people on this call. And yeah, before I start, sometimes you might feel things, and then afterwards you might feel like, oh, I feel a bit weird, and it might be last for a few hours or a day or so. But sometimes, as people on this call might know, with energy healing, you feel a little bit worse sometimes than before you feel better. So yeah, there's no risk. I mean, I've done thousands of clients. Hundreds, like 500 to 1,000 clients. And you know, some of them feel a bit worse before the better, but it's not a big deal. But I just need to tell you in case anything happens, and it's just normal. Okay, so I'm just going to start now, so we're all protected. And I want to ask the Divine to release the entities that will benefit the group as a whole. And any people particularly may need more help than others, please provide that. Thank you. Okay. Just a second, I'm just going to get my phone with the list of entities. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what the phone is. Anyway, I can memorize them. So, yeah, what I do is I didn't introduce how to use the emotion code, but I muscle test these the list of 21 entities. So that's a yes, that's a no. This is using muscle testing kinesiology, which is the body's feedback mechanism to the subconscious mind. So when I work with clients one-to-one, their subconscious knows that what needs to be released. And in this case, we're doing a network, so it's like a ring network in Wi-Fi, perhaps. So I'm connected to all your minds, so we're just going to release what we can. Okay, so is it 1, 2, 3? Okay, so is it 10, 11, 12? Okay, so the first one is an entity possession that I'm going to release from the group. So yeah, entities can send possession energy to our minds sometimes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear that from the group by using this magnet over the governing meridian. This is how the emotion code works. You muscle test what needs to be released using the fingers like I did. And then you do 3 swipes over the governing meridian. So 1, 2, 3. And that is over the governing meridian, and meridians are the energy flow throughout the body. And the governing meridian is like the highway, so everything gets cleared. Right, so next one. What else do we need to clear from this group? Okay, so 18 is a demonic entity. So we're going to ask the Divine if we can remove as many as we can in one go. Sometimes there's more than one in our energy field. I mean, there's always more than one, but sometimes we can clear in one go more than once. So let's ask Merlin, my guide, to remove as many demonic entities from the mind, body, and spirit of this group. And I command you never to return. Thank you. Yeah, we need to tell the entities not to return and command them never to return. Okay. So what's next? Okay. Okay, we've got number 8, which is reptilian implant. So you could have had these implanted for many years and not known about it. So removing as many reptilian implants from this group consciousness, I command you never to return. Thank you. Okay, and just some more. 1, 2. Okay, number 14 is reptilian grey. So these greys are like these alien heads, you know, the grey heads, I think, and then there's a reptilian version of those. So removing as many reptilian greys from the mind, body, spirits. I command you never to return. Jen, do we have time for one more and then do a question Q&A?
Yeah, sure. Go for it, Andrew.
Okay. So 1, 2. Okay, number 17 is vampiric entity. So, yeah, you know, all entities are like sucking your energy. So, removing these vampiric entities as many as we can from the group consciousness. I command you never to return. Okay, so I'm now going to remove myself from everyone's subconscious mind, and yeah. Please provide everyone with golden white lights around their energy fields and aura fields, and to ensure that processing of the work we've just done will be without any issues. Asking their helpers and angels and guides to assist in this as well. Thank you. Okay.
Lovely. Thank you ever so much. I'm hoping everyone feels lighter or they will see a difference in that. Because like you said earlier, you can just pick them up without realising anywhere. Shopping, the pub, the park maybe. Well, no, maybe not the park, you're outside, aren't you? Just fascinating. I've always enjoyed this subject. I'm always looking into extra ways to like protect myself, because I really do feel, looking back at my Shanghai days in China, I wasn't dealing with like, you know, down to earth anxiety, depression, burnout from business. I think I was really taken over by something huge, bigger than me, like, and it kept me down for a number of years, a good 2 to 3 years. It was my depression, my darkest soul, for now, whatever it is. So yeah, thank you, Andrew. Does anyone have any questions? No worries. We will end, Andrew, on your 45-minute emotion and entity release group session that you have for everyone. So I'll just mention, if you are watching on YouTube and you haven't registered for the event, but you would like the 7 free gifts that everyone is offering today, and Andrew is one of them, offering a gift, feel free to register using the link. If you don't have the link at hand, you can message me for the link and I'll send you the link. You have up until midnight tonight to actually register for this event, and then it closes. If you're in the Soul Central Facebook group, you haven't registered, but you're still watching this live, the link is in the posts that you'll see in the Facebook group. And if you are on the call right now on Zoom, you have already registered. Therefore, check back on your emails. There will be a link to sign up to Andrew's free session that you're going to be offering in a week's time. Is that right, Andrew?
Yeah, approximately. Yeah, it might be like on a weekday night, like maybe Wednesday at 7 p.m. UK time, I think. Yeah. But I mean,
yeah.
So
did you have...
Sorry.
That's all right. You carry on.
So will people?
Do you have like a?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I think there's a delay. Is there like a maximum amount of people that you can have in your session? Because I know over 40 people have registered for today's event, so a lot of us will be watching the replay due to work. So do you have like a cap on the numbers? Is it like first come, first serve, or? No,
as many as they want. Yeah, I've done like 30 at a time, but I can go up to 100. You know, I wouldn't mind 1,000 either. But yeah, you know, it doesn't matter. No, the numbers can be any. Yeah.
No problem, that's cool then. So, but obviously it's in a week's time. So everyone who's registered will have the opportunity to work with Andrew in this capacity. However, it will be in a week's time roughly. So make sure you find the link in your email to then join up for that free session for further energy work and clearing of entities. And yeah, hopefully you'll like
how will they be done? How will they be notified of the dates? Because it might be like a week on Wednesday. How will they know that? How will
you have all the information. We can talk about that after the Seoul Central Summit anyway. But yeah, just for those who are joining in right now, you can message Andrew for more information using the link that was sent.
Can I just mention like the like just in case people want to look at my website and stuff, it's www.thespiritualengineer.co.uk, and if you Google the spiritual engineer or spiritual engineer, it'll probably come up. And my email is info@thespiritualengineer.co.uk in case you have any questions as well. Yeah.
Just an awesome plug for you, Andrea, for those who are listening. So my experience is not working with energy and entities, but like experiencing negative entities. I could physically feel things and see things, and since working with Andrew, gone. So there you go. So yeah, I can definitely vouch for your work. So all good stuff. You're doing awesome, Andrew. Thank you ever so much for your time today. Really much appreciated. And yeah, that finishes today. Do you have any closing comments, or should we say goodbye?
Yeah, just yeah, if anyone has any reactions from what we've just done, feel free to let me know. And but yeah. Otherwise, no.
Excellent. Okay, thanks so much again, Andrew, and yeah, I will definitely see each other soon. And yeah, if you want to stick around, we do have the awesome Michael Wolf coming in at 3:15. We'll say goodbye now, but we'll tune on in the next 10 minutes or so. But again, everyone, thank you very much, and see Andrew very soon, and everyone else very soon as well. Thank you. Many thanks for watching this video. If you're a coach, healer, therapist or practitioner and would like to supercharge your online coaching business, then feel free to hit the link below in the description box where you can receive the successful 6-figure soul roadmap and training. It walks you through step by step on how to start, build and grow your online coaching business to success. See you in the next video.